Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to take you on a little tour of my backyard and show you all the plants that I have accumulated during lockdown, because as most of you probably already know, I do love an indoor plant, and during lockdown I kind of started running out of space inside my house, so I ventured outside and I've now got quite a few plants out here. So I thought I would take you on a little tour and show you guys exactly what I've got out here. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, just keep on watching. Okay, so first up we have the Tradescantia zebrina, which is one of my all-time favorites. It grows so fast and it is super duper easy to propagate, so you'll probably see quite a few floating around in this video, but I absolutely love this plant. The colors are stunning. It's got like a kind of metallic shine to the leaves, and then the underside is like bright purple. As you can see, it's such a beautiful plant. I absolutely love this one. Next up we have a series of plants on this little stand here that I've got outside. So obviously we've got another one of the Tradescantia zebrinas over here, because as I said, they are so easy to propagate and they just grow like weeds pretty much. I've then got an assortment of Australian natives which are planted in here. I grew these from seed. You can go to Bunnings and buy a packet of seeds which just includes a whole mixture of different seeds in the same packet. So it's kind of like a lucky dip, I suppose. You just plant it and see what grows, but that's what this is. We've then got a spider plant, which one of my all-time faves as well. They're so easy to grow and they are really easy to propagate as well once your plant shoots off little babies. This one's still a little bit too small yet, so it hasn't actually started shooting off any babies, but hopefully eventually it will and I'll be able to propagate some more. Then down here we've just got another lot of the Australian natives that I just spoke about, and here we've got some cuttings of my Syngonium white butterfly, which is again one of my favorites because it does grow really fast and it's so easy to propagate. I'll show you inside on the mother plant, but as you can see the leaves are really nice and variegated, which I love, and yeah, again, so easy to look after and so easy to propagate and grow. Down here I've got another lot of the Australian natives, and then I've got this aloe vera plant, which I think I showed it to you guys in one of my previous videos. It actually didn't have any roots for a really long time, and I was so close to giving up on it because I thought there's just no way it's going to grow because it's got no roots. I'm not sure if it had root rot and that's why it lost its roots, or if it just had no roots when I bought it. I can't remember, I don't know, but for ages, I'm talking like 12 months, it didn't have any roots, but it wasn't dying, so I couldn't bring myself to throw it out. So anyway, I persisted with it and it has now rooted and it's really solid in this pot now, which is awesome. I actually took it out of this pot the other day just to have a look and see what the roots were actually doing, and it's got a good solid root system now, which is awesome. I think this bottom growth here will all die off. That's kind of like the old growth from back when it didn't have any roots, but I noticed the other day, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but it has actually started to shoot off some little pups in under here, which is absolutely awesome because, as I said, I was so close to giving up on this plant because I thought there was just absolutely no hope for it because it just wouldn't root. But anyway, we got there in the end and it's going really well. Now here I've got just some parsley that I planted, which obviously it's really small as you can see, but the strangest thing the other day, it actually kind of started flowering and the shape of the leaves has changed, which is really strange. So obviously this is your normal kind of parsley leaf, but this leaf is a completely different shape, and it's also got these little, I'll try and focus for you. No, the camera's not going to pick it up, it's too small, but it kind of has started flowering a little bit. It's really strange, but anyway, I'm going to keep growing it and see what happens. I might even just trim this section back because I did pick off all the oddly shaped leaves from here, as you can see, in the hope that it would grow more normal shaped leaves, but it hasn't yet, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's still alive, so I'm not going to throw it out or anything. We'll just see what happens with that. Then down here I've got my little mini greenhouse, which is currently growing the Australian native seedlings, and I've just realised this is actually full of water, so I need to empty that out. We've had a lot of rain over the past few days, so obviously the rain got in there and filled that up with water, which I only just noticed. So anyway, that's all emptied out now. I might just leave that little vent open so it can kind of dry out a little bit. But yeah, they're the Australian natives I was talking about. I haven't planted all these in pots yet because I was just waiting to see how these ones go first, because I wasn't sure if they were actually big enough to repot yet. But we'll see how these ones go, and then if they're all right, I will start repotting those ones. Next up, we have this philodendron, which my cousin actually gave me the other day. Thank you so much, Tara. I believe this is a philodendron red wings. I was told by my lovely friend Nat on Instagram, and apparently they grow really, really fast. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one goes. I might even put a moss pole or some kind of stake in there to kind of hold it upright, because I think it will grow better going up. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Next up, we have my daisies, which you probably or may have seen in my DIY bathtub garden video, because I had originally planted these in my bathtub, which I'll show you guys in a moment, but it was just way too hot for them over there and too much sun, so the flowers actually started shriveling up and dying off. So I had to take it out of there, and I've now repotted it just in this pot here under our little pergola area, and it's doing really, really well. So when I repotted it, it had absolutely no flowers left, and as you can see, it's now got heaps of flowers. So it's doing really, really well, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't lose it. It's also got heaps of little buds here, so it's doing really well, which is amazing. Next up, we have this succulent. I actually don't know what it's called, so if you guys know what it's called, please let me know in the comments down below. This is another one my cousin gave me the other day. It's really interesting because it actually shoots out flowers. So as you can see, it's got these flowers shooting out of it up here, which is awesome. And apparently these will turn into seed, and you let them kind of just drop into the pot next to it, and it will grow and more will grow. So as you can see, there's a couple here, which I'm assuming have come from seed that has fallen from these flowers. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, let me know if you know what it's called, because I actually have no idea. Next up, I just have this little rosemary plant, which I bought not too long ago. It was, believe it or not, actually a lot smaller than this when I got it, so it's doing really well. I've then just got this little succulent, which I actually don't know what this one's called either. So if you know what this one's called, let me know. I'm not sure if it's a type of aloe or what it is exactly, but yeah, let me know if you know what it's called. Then I have this pot with some common ivy in it. This I actually propagated from our front yard. Out the front of our house, we have this huge ivy plant which grows to cover like the garden bed out the front. So I just propagated some of this from there, and it's doing really, really well. It is currently, well, I'm trying to get it to grow up our clothesline, which we don't actually use, so it's folded down. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully this clothesline can kind of work as a trellis, and it will grow up there and be nice and luscious, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is just common ivy that I propagated. Then if we come over to here, I've just got this basil plant, which is going really, really well. I actually planted this from, I don't know if you guys know or have seen, but when you go to the supermarket and buy herbs, sometimes they've got roots attached to the bottom. So I thought, why not try and plant it and see how it goes? So that's what I did, and as you can see, it's doing really, really well. When I first planted it, a lot of the plant did actually die off, so I didn't think it was going to survive, but then it started coming back. So if you try this at home and you think it's dying off, just give it a chance, because chances are it will come back, because that's what this one did. Next up, we have the bath that I was talking about. So I actually did a video, if you haven't seen it already, I actually did a video on the whole process of me turning this old cast iron bath into a garden. And what I've got planted in there is pretty much all sunflowers, with the addition of some lavender in the middle there, which you can hardly see because it's being taken over by sunflowers. So these ones here are actually lemon striker sunflowers, and they have started to flower, which is awesome. And there's actually like, I don't even know, I couldn't even count them, like hundreds of little buds that are all going to be big lemon striker sunflowers. So I can't wait till they all start flowering, because it's going to look absolutely amazing. Then, as I said, over here we've got some lavender, which has been taken over by sunflowers, but it's still doing really well. It's got a few flowers on it, which is nice. And then over here we've got the little dwarf sunflowers. So as you can see, they're doing pretty well. But yeah, these are just called dwarf sunflowers. They're a much smaller variety, obviously, compared to the lemon strikers. But I absolutely love these. They were really easy to grow, and look at all the flowers. There are so many flowers just on 3 plants. So there's 3 separate plants here, and look how many flowers there are. So pretty. And then down here I've got a few more sunflowers, just 3 more sunflower plants. I think they will be quite large. I'm actually not sure exactly what variety they are. I got these in like a little kit, so I don't actually know what variety of sunflowers they are. It literally just said sunflowers on the packet, so we'll see what they turn out like. Hopefully they are nice and big like these ones, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so next up we have my snake plant, and a lot of you have been asking for an update on this plant because this is the plant that I brought back to life. If you go to my channel, there is a video on there about how I saved my snake plant from root rot, and this is the plant that was in that video. So as you can see, it's doing pretty well. It did suffer from root rot, and it was going really limp. So all these stems, I guess you call them, were really limp and floppy. So anyway, I cut off all the rot and I placed them in water. You can go and watch this video if you want more information, but as a general rundown, I cut off all the rot and I placed them in water, waited until they rooted, and then I potted them back into this pot. So as you can see, there's a few new pups popping up here, which is awesome. And yeah, they're no longer like limp and floppy, so it's doing really, really well. I did actually have this plant indoors, and I have since moved it outside, and it seems to be loving it out here. So I think I will leave it out here for now and see how it goes. It hasn't been out here in like cold weather. I only brought it out when the weather started warming up, so around spring. So we'll see how it goes in the cooler months. I think it should be okay. It's a pretty hardy plant, but if it starts going downhill again, I'll just take it back inside, but it seems to be really liking it out here. Next up, I have my parlor palm, which again was another plant that was originally inside, but it started going downhill. It did have more like fronds, I suppose you would call them, but they started dying off. So I ended up bringing it outside now that the weather is warmer, and it is loving it out here. It has pushed out a brand new frond here, which is awesome. So it's obviously loving it out here, but again, I haven't had it out here in the cooler months, so we'll see how it goes. Once it starts to cool down, I might have to take it back inside. And then I've got down here my little calathea, which I actually asked for advice for this plant on TikTok because it was in a really bad way. I only just recently cut off the old dead leaves because it started putting out a new fresh leaf. So I cut off all the dead old leaves so it could kind of concentrate on the new leaf and not worry about the old leaf. And it's doing really well at the moment. Again, this was another plant that I had inside, and I ended up moving it outside once it started warming up, and it obviously loves it out here because it has pretty much made like a full recovery. So obviously it's still really small, but it's put out one whole new leaf there, and then it's already got a new leaf coming up here. So I'm really excited to see how this plant goes, especially once the weather starts cooling down. I will probably have to take it back inside because these guys like humidity and heat. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I'm so glad I didn't lose it. I literally was so close to giving up on it. I was gonna throw it in the bin. But I persisted. I put it outside. I've been actually just watering it with filtered water as well instead of tap water, and it's doing really well now. So thank you to everyone who gave me advice on TikTok. It has definitely helped. Well guys, that wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Oh, hello. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications so you will be notified of all my future videos. But in the meantime, I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Say bye, Aussie. Goodbye. See you guys.